Hello and welcome to the Spiritual Life Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Haynes. On this podcast, we'll use spiritual truth and spiritual tools to lighten up your challenges. Do you ever feel like you need someone to rescue you, and yet there's no one who's going to? I used to feel that way a lot, and I wanted to not feel that way, but I did not know how to stop or to shift or get out of it. I was also resistant to religion. And while I'm still not religious and have valid reasons for that, at the time, I think my resistance to religion was part of what was blocking my openness to support that I craved, to the help that I needed, to that support that I craved, to the only thing that would come to my rescue. There were many reasons that I didn't like religion. I didn't consider myself a religious person. But I think the most common one is someone in your life trying to push it on you. Maybe someone who seems crazy. Maybe someone who doesn't have a life that you would want. Maybe just someone you don't relate to. And that resistance comes from being pressured and being pushed. As I opened myself up more spiritually and stopped saying, no, I'm separate, this resistance to religion is my identity. Who I am is what matters. What I think about things is what's true. As I stopped using ego and identity as a way of blocking myself from openness to the possibilities of what's more powerful out there, I learned that it's not about what people think or people say or how people understand it at church or in different religions. It's that each religion has its way of explaining the same thing. With Christianity and A Course in Miracles, which is written with Christian terminology, meaning God is going to be referred to as He. The sonship is the word that they're using for oneness. Christ, or the Holy Spirit, is the word that they're using for Christ consciousness, for seeing things in oneness. I understood that they just need words. And our whole society is based in patriarchal, masculine terms. So they don't mean him. They don't mean your brother. They're not only talking about men. They don't mean, when they say the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, they're not talking about it in the terms that we think of it as. But they're just trying to find words to explain something in a way that we can possibly comprehend. So God isn't inherently masculine or feminine. God isn't a word. But in reading A Course in Miracles and opening myself up to the spiritual energy that's being offered, I'm able to totally get over the fact that they're using masculine terms and certain terms that you have to understand what is actually being referred to in order to understand. And I even started going to church occasionally, and I was still triggered by the way everyone stood up and said the same thing. To me, that just felt like brainwashing. It felt like robotic. It seemed like indoctrination. And when I started going, my kids really liked it. They really liked to go. And I really was protective of them. And it really triggered me. And I'm still rebellious. One thing you'll know about me is I'm always trying to do something a different way. I'm always bucking convention. So anything that's organized and synchronized, or just the way it is, and I'm just supposed to accept it, I'm going to struggle with it. And likely, I'm not going to do it. I might tell you I'm going to do it and then go not do it because you won't allow me to say that I'm not going to do it. But I'm definitely going to do it my way or do it differently. That's something about me that has not changed completely. But as far as spiritual energy and spirituality and a greater power trying to get through to me and trying to connect with me and support me and just unconditionally give and love to me, I've opened up to that a lot. I used to be particularly triggered by recitation of the Nicene Creed in church, where everybody stands up and it goes, "We believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth." I can't remember all of it right now. But I found out that there are calibrations on the Nicene Creed and Psalm 91 that are very high. So if you are feeling very low, helpless, like a victim, like someone has to rescue you, someone has to do something for you, you cannot do it alone, you need help, and it seems like there's no one, high calibration spiritual energy will help you. And it may mean getting over your ego, because your ego is why you feel helpless. It's why you feel afraid. It's why you feel angry. It's why you feel small. And your ego is the one who thinks it's more important whether or not you like religion or you like people who go to church, whether or not your opinion is that it's brainwash or that God is a woman. If you value having this identity and this opinion, you're valuing cutting yourself off and keeping yourself separate. Words and minds can't compare with the truth, and the truth will help you. It helped me. I've come a long way from where I used to be, and I remember how it felt. It was lonely, it was scary, I was tormented, and I really felt helpless. Letting spiritual energy in, allowing myself to be a greater and greater vessel, removing one by one these unconscious ways that I was blocked, these things that I was doing that were causing me to be blocked, has helped so much. It's helped me get everything that I want. So who I am hasn't changed that much, although it totally has. What I want hasn't changed that much, but my ability to own it and embody it and be it would never have come the way that I was and the way that I thought it worked. I'd love to share this knowledge with you. I'll help you see what your unconscious blocks are. I'll give you a path and a map to move forward that feels good to you. We can do all of that in a free call, which you can set up through my website, or just go to bit.ly/free love session right now. Love you.
Twerk out, girl, I bet you like it when I stroke it like that. Body so good, wanna hit it all hand.
Stay tuned for details about a workshop coming this May, a free call, where you'll learn how to lift yourself up out of helplessness, out of powerlessness, out of victim mode, and to just get out of the downward spiral that has you feeling like you take one step forward and one step back. I'm going to teach you how to get out of negative momentum and into positive momentum. So definitely send me a direct message on any of my social platforms or email erica@ericamhaines.com. And stay tuned to the next couple podcasts where I'll give you all the details. Remember, there'll be no podcast next week. 3 monthly podcasts per moon cycle. Next week is the week that I take off. And if you haven't caught the explanation for that, is that we have to own all parts of ourselves to be whole. I used to think that it was how I appeared and it was about other people's perceptions of me, and I had to be perfect to be safe. Now I understand that it's me being myself and being whole and fully connected and integrated and just really being me. That's what keeps me safe, because the true self is oneness. The true self is God itself. So how could anything affect you or impact you as who you are? And part of me embracing all of who I am is that I'm not perfect, and I'm not always the coach with all the inspiration. I need a moment to go through my own transformation, to regain inspiration, to reboot. And unfortunately, our society is not set up like this, particularly for women. We need that underworld time, and we don't get it. And because I run this business, I'm giving that to myself. And I want you to think about how you can give that to yourself. How can you offer yourself more support during your time of need? And how can you let yourself off the hook? Maybe it's not giving yourself more support. Say, for example, it would be laying your clothes out or making sure you go to the gym. Like, that's going to make you your best. But it could also be like not laying your clothes out and not going to the gym. How do you make just being and existing enough, good enough, and then allow yourself to be naturally inspired to do the things that are beyond that in the other moments? So that's the explanation for that. So see you in 2 weeks, and definitely stay tuned for the May's workshop. Okay, lots of love.